Hello, I'm Scott Meek with Diesel Laptops. Today we're going to be going over PF-Diagnose and how to navigate the software. So to start, the first thing you're going to have to do is go ahead and select your COM adapter. This is located on the bottom left of the screen. If you see a picture in the box, it's already been selected. But if not, you can change or create a new connection by clicking the change icon. Here we're going to select our primary protocol. You can choose 1708, 1939, or OBD2. I'm going to select 1939. Here you can choose your CAN channel. And then you also have the opportunity to do dual protocol connection by clicking the box here. The RP1210 drop-down box will allow you to choose what type of connection you are using. And then if you're using a J2534 pass-through for OBD2, you will select that here and click Save. Now that we've selected our COM port and our adapter, now it's time to actually connect to a vehicle. We're going to do that by clicking the Connect icon located on the top left of the screen. Once we get connected, we're going to give this a minute to populate all the data. Now if we come over here to the center of the screen on the left-hand side, you're going to notice that we have a TX, which is transmitting data, an RX, which is receiving data, and an ER, which is an error. Here we have a list of all the modules that are being detected. We can scroll through that list and look at each module description. Notice that this module is 1708 and it has a blue truck, and then the one underneath it is a red truck, which is showing you that this is 1939. Now if we go up to the top here, you'll see that we have the full VIN number of the vehicle. Underneath we have the ABS model and the transmission model. Now these other icons are going to take just a minute to finish populating. If we come down here to the Connect Speed icon, that's going to show us the speed at which our CAN protocol is transmitting. Here it looks like we're transmitting at about 250K. Notice now that we go up here, we have a make, and then we can select the model of the vehicle, or it could populate, depending on the model of the vehicle. This is where our fleet unit number will be located. And then if we go to the lower column, you'll see here that we have our engine hours, we'll have our odometer readings, we'll have our PTO hours, our engine serial number, and then we'll also have our software calibration ID. This is the current version that the software is at. Here we have a little display that will be the same indicators as on the dashboard. So you see that we have an ABS light on right now. We also have a check engine light on, and we have an emissions related code on this vehicle. Once you've connected to the vehicle, you'll see that our dashboard has now become active. You'll see here that we have a tachometer, we have our coolant temperature, we have our oil pressure, and then we have a speedometer, as well as a volt gauge. From here we can go to our live data stream. The boxes here will allow us to either turn the stream on or off. And then we also have the option of whether we're connecting to a diesel vehicle or a gasoline powered vehicle by clicking this icon here. The DSL is for a diesel powered vehicle and gas is for a gasoline powered vehicle. If you look here, you'll see your live data stream in a graph view. Now if we go up to the top, the next tab we have access to is our temps tab. You'll see here we'll get all of our temp values on the vehicle. You can display Fahrenheit or change that to Celsius by clicking the icon located here. The next is the DTCs tab. This is where all of your fault code information is going to be stored. The first column by your module description is going to be your OEM fault code information. The next column is going to be your generic fault code information. And then we'll also have the counts located here. And we'll also have a description of that fault. Notice that we have an A that is red and an I that is yellow. That's indicated an active fault code and an inactive fault code. The red A is active, the yellow I is inactive. The next tab we have access to is the Monitor tab. This is going to be our live data stream. It's going to broadcast data in 1708 and in 1939, just in case a specific module is broadcasting that information in both. You'll see that some of these live Datastream parameters will have values beside them. It's important to note that all manufacturers aren't going to have the same parameters. So sometimes you will see parameters that don't display any information, and that's because that specific OEM doesn't use that parameter or does not have access to it. The next tab we're going to have access to is the Readiness tab. You're going to use this for diagnosing OBD2 vehicles. The next tab you're going to have is the Emissions tab. So this is going to be your after treatment tab. Notice here that we have PIDs located by components on this diagram. It's important to know that you need to match those component IDs with the PID list on the left. So for an example, we had EGR, which is 27, and that's showing the EGR valve position is currently 4.65%. Which will bring us to our trip tab. The trip tab is where you're going to have all of your trip information, such as vehicle distance, fuel mileage, fuel usage, things like that. Next we have our fuel tab, which is going to be very similar information to the trip, but it's going to be total information. And then the last tab is the 1939 LPG parameter list. And please remember that this data stream is live. If you look here at the accelerator position 1, I'm going to go ahead and press the throttle to 100%, and you'll see that it changes immediately. Down here we have our parameters that we can view in a graph view. All we have to do is come to the list to the right and choose the parameter that we want to view. Once we've chosen the parameters that we want to view, we can start monitoring it to the left in this graph. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and bring the DTC list back up, and then we're going to clear these fault codes by clicking the Erase Fault Codes icon located here. You'll get a prompt making sure that you actually want to clear the codes. Click Yes, and now you've cleared all the fault codes in the vehicle that were inactive. Now this software does have the ability to run a regen, but only on OBD2 vehicles. So if you're working on an OBD2 vehicle, just come up to the Force Regen icon located here and click. Or you can use the momentary switch located here. But remember that this is for OBD2 vehicles only. And you can also clear all the fault codes by clicking the icon located here. If you wanted to perform a snapshot recording, all you have to do is select your monitor list, and then go up to the record icon located here. When you see the red light on, you're now recording. Once you stop the recording, you can play the recording by clicking the play icon located here. You'll also see that there's a file path located to the right. This is where you're going to find your recording. And then to disconnect, all you have to do is click the disconnect icon located on the top right of the screen. This concludes the PF-Diagnose training module.